The artist's brain is an independent variable. When brought into the everyday world, their senses find meaning in even the most mundane observations. The reaction must only be told by the artists themselves. I'm Loverboy, and this is an experiment.
Today's guests are absolutely taking over the music scene with their mix of pop, alt-rock, punk, and hip-hop that is now known as renegade pop. With the vocalist Cole, bass player Brent, producer guitarist Bardo, they have come together to bring back the essence of rock and roll and unleash hell on stage. Based out of Los Angeles, California, I'm excited to welcome today's guests, Beauty School Dropout. Welcome.
I love the unleash hell on stage.
I actually got that from an interview or something that was written about you guys that I found online. I loved it.
I'm a little bit wet right now.
One of our one of our favorite quotes we've gotten from one of the venue owners of a venue that we played to an agent that we were talking to was that we play as though we're going to die if we don't.
From watching, I shouldn't say firsthand, from firsthand over video, watching you guys, that's definitely the way you perform. And you, Cole, I've seen you skateboard. I watched a couple of your videos, dude. You're ready to die there too.
Thanks, man.
Dude,
I've died a few times over there. Honestly, now I just go to steam rooms and try and sweat out all my past demons.
Dude, there's not enough skating. Steam rooms for me.
Yeah, for that.
So season 2, we're kind of going over at what point you guys, in being an artist, you're ready to fucking dive both feet in. And like before we started this, we were talking about how you guys are kind of bringing back people being comfortable in their skin and their sexuality and their manlyhood and all these things. And I feel like part of being an artist is being 100% unapologetically yourself, like you guys were saying. How do you guys find the ability to do that in a world where it's so judgmental?
You just give less fucks.
Yeah. I think it takes a little bit of weathering. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this in the least offensive way. I don't know. Growing up, I grew up with a single mother who it's like when you're around your mom all the time, you pick up some feminine habits. And then when you're at a school with your boys and whatever, like you kind of end up, I don't know. I feel like I grew up, everyone thinking either I was gay or calling me a fag or like all these things, not to drop that word, but just to explain the actual scope of like what my childhood was like. It's like there was a lot of shit thrown at me that in a way people were treating as a derogatory thing. And I think the only way that I could cope with that or get past that was by adopting it and just opening my heart to it and being like, okay, like, fuck it then. Like, yeah, I am
fully leaning in.
Exactly. Like, that's cool. Like,
totally.
And that's like, I think what happened to Bardo and I too, like, that's the same experience I had growing up, was always just like trying to find names for like me, like being down to wear like the skinniest girls jeans ever. And people are just like roasting me for it and be like, nah, my pants are just cooler because they're tighter than yours, dude. Like, I got them in the girls section because they're tighter.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone always wants to do shit. I feel like a question I got recently was like, someone came up and they're like, how do you, they're like I want to dye my hair and like do this crazy thing. Like, how do you, like, do you think I can pull it off? Like, how do you pull off these things? And like, how do you pull off the stuff that you guys wear? And I'm like, dude, you just gotta think about when you were a kid, right? All the stuff that you're like, man, I want to wear that. Like, 'cause we all did. Like, I loved dressing up as a kid. Like, my sisters brought me to the story, but I wanted to be Peter Pan, but they didn't have any costumes, so I just wore a Tinkerbell dress everywhere, and I was like, this is close enough.
Yeah.
So that was my little costume that I wear when I was a kid. But like, it's like the thing where we all have these, like, we all want to wear crazy shit, but then as you get older, you kind of get like jaded to everyone else's opinions, and it's really easy to fall into the mindset of like, oh well, I'm going to be judged for this, so I'm not going to do it. And now it's like, I feel like as you get older and as you kind of step into that mindset and what Cole said, you weather yourself a little bit. You just start realizing like it doesn't matter. Just wear what you want to wear, because if that makes you happy, if that makes the 16-year-old you happy, like, just do it. Dye your hair.
There's nothing more miserable than being a kid and you go to school looking at pictures of what you want to be wearing and wearing whatever fucking everybody else is, just so you can make your day a little easier.
Totally.
That's the shittiest feeling in the world. And I grew up the same way. I mean, I'm wearing women's bell-bottom jeans right now. I was wearing stuff like this when I was 15 years old and everybody else was wearing Jordans. Like it didn't fit in. And being told I'm gay or a fag or all these things that were supposed to be terrible to me, that were supposed to break me down growing up, just kind of made me grow into realizing that fuck them. They're all gonna actually look at me and go, God damn, I wish I could dress the way I want to dress.
You get out of high school and you start realizing that, damn, I go home now. I went home for Thanksgiving and it's just like you see everyone from high school. It's like, it's weird. It's like I still love a lot of my friends from high school, and like, but it's trippy because it's like I've changed so much.
Absolutely.
I've like grown into myself now. Like people like, and I'm sure for them they're like, wow, you've changed so much. But it's like, no, like this is what I've always kind of wanted to do. I just never felt like I could do what I want to do. You know what I mean?
We found like comfort in like what most people can't find comfort in.
Totally.
Because like, I don't know, that's just like what's in it for us. Like,
yeah.
And it's like we are evolving creatures. Yeah, no shit, I changed, fool. You knew me when I was 16. Fuck off. Like,
If you didn't change, it might be weird.
yeah, you haven't changed, and you are fucking weird. So sorry.
I like to think I did not peak in high school.
This is not me talking shit at anyone from high school. Everyone from high school, I love you. but it's like, you know, it's just funny. It's interesting. It's like, I just like who I am. You know what I mean? I think the bigger message, I think, for what we're doing and why it's important for us to say these things and like wear the shit that we wear is because it's like, there's definitely kids out there who are in that transitionary period of like, oh, well, who am I? What the fuck am I wearing? Like, what is my sexuality? Like, what is all this shit? And it's like, ideally, we could be somewhat of a guiding light and like, hey, like, do whatever makes you happy, because that's really the only thing that matters in this whole weird, fucked up game called life. You know,
Simulation.
Yeah, it was a weird simulation. Like that's it. Just you do you.
Have you guys always been doing the kind of music that you do now?
Yeah, me, yes, at least. I'd say arguably yes. We all grew up in different types of rock bands, and I'd say we're all pretty arguably still on the same path that we started on.
Who were some of the inspirations?
I think that ranges for all of us. It's pretty funny. We all started in like forms of alternative rock. Like my whole background really started in like rock and roll, metal, punk, and like the underground nitty gritty shit. That was just like
ABBA.
So yeah, exactly. like ABBA, exactly. But then, I mean, for these guys, I mean, I don't know. It's a little different.
I was like definitely like the pop punk kid, like Blink and like Sum 41, if that was like considered pop punk. But like that scene, like the like a little bit happier. But then I dove deeper and like Pierce the Veil and Day to Remember heavily influenced me.
I feel like it was like always alt. I feel we grew up at a time where alt was the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when we were all growing up, like people still bought CDs, and back then, like Arcade Fire was like playing the Grammys.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Get a Grammy?
I think they did. Like that shit was like the biggest thing, and so it's like I feel like that we kind of grew up at this very transformative time where it's like I think I was always exposed to a lot of stuff. My influences were like The Strokes, Arcade Fire, big one, Cage the Elephant.
Oh yeah,
a lot of like alt bands, and then. But because of like production stuff, because I've been a producer for years, we've all written and done like music stuff for other people for quite some time. But like as a producer, I've like had to learn how to make so many different styles of music. Like I produce like EDM records and like pop stuff, folk stuff, like whatever needs to be done. And so I think because of that, I've also like expanded a lot of like the genres. Like I mean, but then it's funny circling back all the way back to what we're doing now with rock. We had this conversation the other day how like a lot of even with like EDM, a lot of those sounds and arrangements are very similar to like the old rock stuff and like heavy metal. You know, you listen to like a dubstep song next to a heavy metal song, you're like, wait, they're just
Pretty
breakdowns.
much just a fucking hardcore breakdown.
Yeah, just like 140 BPM and just halftime headbanging shit. It's
and those
awesome.
kick drums. I mean, they were all triggered.
Totally.
They were all samples.
Totally.
What about? I assume we're similar in age. What about like My Chemical Romance?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
System
Oh,
of a
yeah.
Down.
Yeah. I think we all definitely came from that. Like My Chem, System of a Down, Paramore, Nirvana.
Slipknot.
I don't know, like
Corn.
Yeah, exactly. We
Drowning
love
Pool.
our first love for each other was definitely bonding over the '90s shit. Like exactly what
Alice
he
in
said.
Chains.
Alice in Chains, Corn,
Nirvana.
System of a Down.
Nirvana's
Jam.
Nirvana's
We
a
can
big
keep
one.
going.
Oh yeah. Well, you can hear a lot of that in your
System of
guys'
a Down.
music too. You guys have like this. Renegade pop is a fun way to put it because those genres specifically that kind of make it up on their own aren't what you guys do. You guys grabbed those and you grabbed what you dug out of them and made something that a lot more people, from my opinion, can go to your show and find some connection to it. Whether it's hip hop breakdowns or fucking moshing your goddamn head off. Like you guys go fucking hard on stage.
Yeah.
That's their superpowers, Cole says.
How did you? I guess going back to the beginning, how'd you guys start? And I know two of you were in a band together.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the story is kind of long. SparkNote's version.
Really did your research. This is very impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Is
You're
it
like full Nardwiring us right now.
Strange?
No.
I
This
love it.
is Strange Faces.
Strange
yeah.
Faces.
So
Okay.
I moved up here, went to school for about 8 weeks, dropped out to join a band called Strange Faces. We toured, came back, made music, didn't put it out, and then we ended up adopting B into the band. And when we met, I kind of was like, bro, you need to move out here from Tucson. Like, we need to make music together, whatever. And then as that fell apart, like, the whole time I knew that I wanted to front my own project. Literally my whole life, I grew up playing guitar in bands, knowing that I wanted to have my one iteration that was like my voice, whatever. And so when that fell apart for like a year and a half, I started really digging into songwriting for other people, for myself, and just like figuring out my voice too and what I wanted to do sonically. And then this kind of evolved from what was to be my solo project. And then I was like, fuck it. No, like I want to have a band and I want to start putting this thing together. And then we actually got offered essentially to play a pool party, like a backyard, like acoustic set of, we didn't even have, I think, like 3 or 4 songs put together at the time. And then B was just like, yeah, we got to do this, whatever. And so we rehearsed our asses off for like 2 weeks and did it. And then that was kind of the catalyst. And then we actually met, we being Bardo and I met a few weeks later at a show that I was putting on with Winston House, and our mutual friend was playing. And from there, we just we had a session, realized we worked really well together, and then just started writing like every single day for probably like a year straight. Now we're coming up on like 2.5 years as a band.
Yeah.
Did you guys live together during the lockdowns?
Yes.
That's
Well, Cole and I did.
key.
I did not, but I live there now.
Yes.
We are the Three Musketeers in that house.
Yes.
We had to cycle through a few roommate situations and figure out how to really coexist in that place. Because I don't know if you've seen our spot, we have a 2-story loft, and there's technically 2 bedrooms. We've now managed to make the third one work, but before we literally had 4 people in 2 bedrooms. We had both rooms had bunk beds.
Always.
And then the world got shut down, and I had just gotten out of a relationship.
Rent was like $4 a month.
Yeah, it was insane, bro. Life was just, it was like amazing, but also just pure fucking hell for the whole entirety of the lockdown.
Dude, living with a bunch of people is never easy.
Oh, never.
You have to. I have a roommate, Akash, who's a great producer, and having him is like a fucking blessing because every other roommate I've had, not every other roommate, but a lot of the other roommates I've had, it's tough. You gotta find the fucking right person, or else it just doesn't work.
Totally.
Or people.
It saves you money, but it's a dynamic. I'm actually very impressed with our dynamic and how we are able to get along so well.
Yeah.
Even with,
Cohabitate very
Dude, it
Yeah.
really is truly impressive. I mean, I guess that's kind of like your responsibility in a way if you're in a band, is to like be able to coexist like that. But it is insane how we have managed to spend so much time together and not kill each other.
yeah.
Not even slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we definitely I think at this point we're so knee deep in this shit that it's like beyond just like friends making music. Like we're like brothers, and it's like we'll fight, like we totally do, but just like it's like brothers, And
And
it's
lovers.
like
You gotta fight.
and lovers. It's like there's a lot of sexual tension, and and then it's sometimes you fight,
Yeah. And then fuck. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Then you're good to go.
Yeah,
We
But
fight,
and
we
also
fuck.
you find other little nuances to like entertain yourself in a way. Like recently Cole and I joined. We have a mansion downtown.
Wow, I didn't know that's how you said it. That's funny.
And we joined this thing called the Los Angeles Athletic Club, which is dope. It's like this. It's basically kind of like a Soho House meets WeWork meets WeSpa. If you don't know what WeSpa is, it's like a Korean spa. It's like it's like a sauna steam room. What's funny about that?
It's just like you guys love this place so much.
Yeah, we are big. If you guys want a referral code, hit me up.
Yeah, we're trying to get our gold cards right.
Yeah, we're trying to get they have a speakeasy too. You can go to. It's long story short, basically it's like right down the street, and it's kind of been this like thing where it's like we're always together. Like we're literally like at all times together doing the same things.
I love it.
And it's like so funny because it's like we have the same friends.
Even when we're not, we are. I literally was like, I went there the other day, steam room, did my whole thing, worked out. I was like getting coffee and I'm sitting there and I just see him getting out of the pool like after doing laps. And I was like, of course.
I literally called
good
Cole.
to see you.
I called Cole. I was like, hey, are you with Bardo? And he's like, no. And then I hear Bardo pop up in the background. He's like, yeah.
Well, that's going to make a big difference for when you guys are touring and going to be living on a bus together.
Totally. Yeah.
You want to be living on a bus with your friends, let alone people that you know you could
and we
fucking see
get
next
along.
to.
We like to fuck around. We have shenanigans. It's just like
We're also good at giving each other space, I feel like, when we need it. You know, there's
It's big.
we're all very emotional people, and I think like when we need that space, we just take it for ourselves, and it's cool. It's like there's no ego or anything like that. It's just like, all right, cool, I'm gonna shut a door and channel out for a little bit, or we just talk about it, you know.
And did you guys have a point when you guys were starting Beauty School Dropout that you were like, fucking everything else doesn't matter now. This is it. Like 100% all in. Was there a point, or did it just kind of was it more natural?
When I dropped out of school to join Strange Faces.
That's when you were all
for
in.
me, I mean, I don't know. I've known music was going to be. I used to tell, but actually, I'm not even going to that. But pretty much my line of reference was like, if I don't make it in music, then I'm just not living. I'm not going to live.
Yeah.
There's no other option because I don't care. That's just what I care about is music, performing and making people come together and enjoy company and their passion for this shared subject.
That mentality is necessary.
totally. I think it's like the first thing you gotta.
Yeah.
I don't think plan Bs are a little freaky.
Plan Bs are useless.
Yeah.
If you got plan B, that means that you're
Totally.
done with plan A. And if you're done with plan A, then you fucked up.
Yeah.
Because you got to keep going.
But and that's a good question because I think we're all doing different. Like I think we're all doing music stuff, but like I think when we were like, okay, Beauty School Dropout is the main focus. I think was probably like a couple months into it. Once we started realizing like, oh wait, we have like an album's worth of music developing, and like there's interest from people, and like once you start showing it to people, and people are like, oh, this is cool, and you're like, wait, really? They're like, yeah, like this is actually really fucking cool, and you're like, oh, you kind of get like, okay, we can keep doing this, and then you kind of fall in love with it.
There's been no downtime too. Oh yeah, since we've started. Sorry, I was leaning back a bit, but like since we've started this project, even before we even met and we were working together on it, like the way I learned songwriting was my old managers basically being like, yo, this song's not good enough. This song's not good enough. Keep writing. And I did that every day for a year straight until I just had a catalog of shitty songs that turned out to, started forming into better music.
Yeah, something you could mold.
Exactly. And then that's when we met. And from there, it was like, okay, cool. And we've worked just about every day since, with maybe max like a week or two in between to, see family or do whatever we need to. But like the reality of our project is it is a lifestyle more so than anything. Like we do this shit all day, every single day, to the point of us being fucking shit broke and like really gambling on ourselves that this is gonna happen, which is a beautiful thing, but also is kind of a nightmare sometimes.
Scary shit.
but yeah, it's great.
Well,
I wouldn't change it for the world.
And like I always joke about this podcast being my version of Ned's Declassified.
Word.
Because what the fuck are we supposed to do when you're 15 years old and you go, I want to be like that motherfucker? And you look up and they dropped out of school and your parents are going to get fucking pissed at you. And they dyed their hair and got a bunch of tattoos and all the things that it's kind of like, hey, I'm all in now. There's no, I spent all my rent money on gear. And I went, and going out to the clubs and staying out late and meeting people is literally part of the job.
Totally.
And there's all this shit that like you can't do this and do normal life. This is it.
Yeah.
Were you all comfortable with the fact that it was just the three of you in the band at first?
It wasn't actually. There
wasn't.
5 of us.
Oh shit.
Technically, and now it's still technically 4. We're like the outward product facing, or the consumer facing product, if you will.
Yeah.
But we still have the same drummer we've always had. He's a little bit more focused on the drumming side and doing that for other people as well. And we hook him up any way that we possibly can because we just love him to death.
He's one of the best drummers any of us
In
know.
the world.
Like,
What's
oh
his
my
name?
God. Mike Rose.
Mike Rose.
Or Michael
Mike
Rose.
Rose drums.
He absolutely shreds.
He is
We'll have to get him on
fucking
sometime.
outrageous, bro.
Yeah.
He deserves an entire podcast episode to himself. He is so
heard
so
that.
good.
Yeah, he's an amazing. He's just like a diehard musician. He like grew up in that whole like he like drum line and everything, and just like or drum corps. Yeah, he's like the solo kit and
In the Blue Devils, which is like the best
Oh, yeah.
drum line.
I know
He
exactly
was
who
kid
they
for
are.
the Blue Devils. Like he's insane.
yeah, he
Damn,
fucking.
that's
rips.
what I watched
Travis
growing
Barker didn't make it on the Blue Devils,
And Mike,
but Mike did. So technically, he's better than Travis Barker. So,
Sorry, Travis, coming for your job. And have you guys always kind of had the same goal of where you wanted to end up with the band? Or was there a time when you guys had to sit down and physically say to each other, be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I'm looking
I think
for?
we've always known
Yeah, that was
we want to be like Drake.
yeah.
We
rock.
want Drake to be like, can I feature on your guys' song?
Yeah.
I think in a way that's kind of how we've gotten so much of the attention off the bat that we did was just because I think we've always been so fucking headstrong about being like, no, we're gonna play stadiums.
Simple as that.
Cool. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. We're gonna play stadiums. Like,
Yeah, no,
like,
hey, I
not
agree.
now, maybe, but at some point in the timeline, yeah, that's that shit we're gonna be on. So
You got to have that confidence going in too. If you're not your biggest fucking fan, then who is?
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people do it. Like there are acts who are touring stadiums right now, and they got there by just fucking doing it long enough and being good at their craft and like actually committing to the thing that they're passionate about. And just like anything else in this world, if you want to attain it, like, you have to submit yourself to that thing. It's like find what you love and let it kill you, right?
Absolutely.
So
Well, and I got that vibe from you guys pretty early on because I did my first podcast with Pink Slip with Kyle, and he said he was telling me some artists to watch out for, and you guys were one of them. And I got the opportunity to kind of follow you guys then and see the start with like the covers you were doing at your place, which killer, really really well done, and it's a show, which I love because that's hard to do when there's not people there. You guys have been kind of going full force for 2 years now and finding legitimate success in it. You guys are doing it. You're all those things that you were talking about. I mean, you figured out the hardest part, which is who the fuck am I going to work with that I don't want to kill every day, that makes me do better, that makes me want to do better. You guys have that. You guys have the stage presence. You got the music. What's next?
Perfecting all of that.
Yeah. Like exactly that, what you said, and getting really, really, really weirdly good at it.
Yeah.
Like fucked up good.
tightening up all the loose screws, really. We're
so
kind of at
fresh
that point
still.
too where like just about all the foundation is laid, and now it's time to really like put up the pillars and expand the team, meaning like locking down our agent and potentially if we decide to go the label route or whatever, an investor, however we want to do it, like just expanding the team to where we now have the people around us who are complementing the vision and helping us bring everything that we want to into fruition.
And give you guys more time to just do fucking music.
Yeah.
And do it a
Oh,
lot
God.
and harder.
Yeah.
I mean, every kid who sits in their basement or whoever's sitting there playing your instrument and just you watching that video and trying for hours and hours every fucking day just to get that one lick, just to be eventually the guy who somebody else is doing that for and trying to learn their licks. It's a dream come true for a lot of people, and it seems like you guys are you really figured out what you want and you're not fucking letting anybody take it from you.
Yeah.
We've really adopted that. Like whenever someone, it rarely happens, but whenever someone has like a conflicting opinion, we're like, thanks, move on.
Yeah, we just kind of know ourselves. Like Drake said, know yourself. That's what he said. and
I was going to try to get Drake on the podcast. I don't even need him now.
yeah, I listened. Drake was actually my second biggest artist on Spotify, and the first one was School Dropout. So
I love that.
I'm actually impressed that you fully admit to that.
I think it's because I just I like to fucking. Actually, I think
To you. I love our music.
I listen to music, but also like when songs come out, I like fucking like play a bunch of times, and it's like
I think that's
also
a producer thing too.
I love checking our mixes and like comparing them to other people's, and I love like oh, what does our cover art look like on this, or what does this canvas look like? I'm the tinker of the group. I tinker with everything.
That's
I'm
a producer thing right there.
He's a mad scientist. Like
I'm the same way. I'm all 250 plays of all my songs.
Hell yeah.
Fire.
So, just for the last couple questions before we wrap this up, one thing that I really want everybody to come away with is, what the fuck would you tell that 10-year-old who wants to be where you guys are?
Just keep going. Just
Every business, every band, every venue, every fucking thing you can possibly imagine, there are people at the top looking for people below them who are doing what they want to be seen doing better than them. And if you can do that, then you're in.
I love that.
yeah.
Also, the women's section will always be your best bet for pants.
Yes.
I can second that.
Yeah.
And last question for you guys: Who should we be on the lookout for right now? Who are you guys digging as far as in the industry? Who are part of your community that you think are also really killing it?
I mean, we can shout out our friends that are all just absolutely crushing. Like Roland the Serpent, Slush Puppy, Femme, Lauren Sanderson. Like keep going. Like Ren. All of our
Tilly.
Tilly.
Oh yeah.
Pouty Face.
Oh yeah. Oh, American Teeth. American Teeth crushes.
I saw American Teeth play at some random party, dancing on top of a car or something. I don't forget what the name of the party was, but like right before lockdown, and followed all of his stuff after. He was such a good performer.
Yeah, you listen, man. He's so fucking good.
Yeah, we kind of got a little like gang of like alt homies.
Fever 333.
Oh,
Big shout
yes.
out to Jason. I mean, it's hard to say because he's already he's like an icon in the scene. But
He's a producer. right?
Yeah, producer. He's a Renaissance man.
He
That
did
motherfucker
My
is
Chemical
just
Romance?
Everything.
So
No,
that's Rob Cavallo.
Yeah.
Rob Cavallo is
also a Renaissance man.
An
Yes.
actual legend.
yeah,
Like two.
that
Both
guy's
legends.
They did all of Green Day and My Chem.
Damn.
Yeah.
My whole childhood.
And he also can cook a mean steak.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
Most
we-
importantly-
Makes good
I
bread.
forgot. We're supposed to have a cook-off with Romy. Shout out Romy as well.
Romy.
Romy. There's so many.
Dasha, my sister.
At
Shout
some
out
point
Dasha.
this
Hey,
week.
I'm
I know
hitting
I'm
up-
gonna feel bad if we miss anyone. We
I'm
have so many
hitting up
fucking
all
dope
of you,
artist
by the
friends.
way. So if you get a message, there won't be a blue check mark next to it, but it's me. So look out for it. I'm coming after all of you to get you on the podcast.
Oh my god, yes. Yes,
spread the
we're
good
on it.
word.
We'll let all of them know.
Well, you guys are. First of all, thank you for sitting in traffic just to come over here. You guys are,
Oh,
Thanks
yeah.
for waiting for us.
You like our
Fast.
time choice? 5 o'clock?
dude. Next time we'll do like 5:30.
Even better.
We'll get you guys in the car a little longer.
Love that.
Well, thank you so much for being on here. I really think there's going to be a lot of kids who are walking to class or sitting in their bedroom feeling like shit because they don't know which way to go, who can see you guys and be like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm sick of pretending I'm anybody but myself.
Yep.
And I'm sick of not working my goddamn ass off because you guys are and it's working.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having
And
us.
Of course, thank you for having us.
to everybody listening,
I'm Cole or Coley, whatever you prefer.
I'm Bardo.
I'm Beepus.
And we're Beauty School Dropout.
The experience is the experiment.